Hi everyone, Keith Haddock. Thank you for joining. Today we're going to dive into the Colorado Avalanche Information Center website. We're going to go over some basic tools and resources available there to track our avalanche danger throughout our forecasted regions. So if you go ahead up to the web browser and type in avalanche.state.co.us, it'll bring you to this homepage. And if you scroll down, you'll notice this menu bar of forecast regions map and some news updates along with a calendar for area classes and some snowfall depths. If you come back up to the map and you hover your mouse over these regions, it gives you a dictation of the danger hazard rating, and you can always just click your region off this map, or you can go up to this menu tab under forecast backcountry avalanche and it gives you that same list. So we'll go ahead and click Sawatch for our Leadville campus region, and it brings you to the backcountry avalanche forecast. It gives you the time and date and the forecaster that created it. Along with that comes the danger scale and the danger rating for that day and the following day, and it breaks it down to each particular elevation band of above tree line, near tree line, and below tree line. And the danger scale is a color-coded scale that goes from no rating all the way up to 5 extreme. These forecasts come with a summary of where we can find these avalanche problems in the terrain and how we might be able to identify them. And if you keep scrolling down is the breakdown of the bulletin with the avalanche problem. It gives you the character symbol, the aspect and elevation. It gives you the likelihood of triggering and the size they may be if they do trigger. And you'll notice on these blue link tabs, it gives you information and insight onto how CAIC uses these definitions. And if we take a look here, avalanche character, the problems are categories of avalanche activity. And if you click on all of these, you can read in depth and get a true understanding of how they're used in our forecast, such as aspect and elevation, aspect being the direction of the slope face, and the elevation band being above, near, or below tree line. Along with likelihood, it's the description of the chance of encountering a particular avalanche problem. It combines the spatial distribution of the problem and the sensitivity or ease of the triggering. So, and then on to size, it gives you a nice little picture and description of how we try to size these avalanches, and it's based on the destructive potential. Small avalanches are relatively harmless to people unless they push you into a terrain trap. Large avalanches could bury, injure, or kill a person. So it gives you a relative scale of what kind of damage these avalanches cause at what size. And I highly suggest you click on all of these tabs, read them all, get to know them very well. The weather forecast is also available. It gives you the day, night, and the following day. And it gives you temperature, wind speed, wind direction, sky cover, and snow in inches. Further on, you can find archived forecasts if you go down to this bottom tab, and then you get to pick any date you'd like back into the recorded history. This goes back for the whole year, and that's a good way to track your snowpack if you haven't been to an area in a while and you want to see some relevant, recent, or older data. Go ahead and get that there. So if you come back up to the top, click this forecast discussion page. This is a page that allows the forecaster to go into a little bit more detail on the avalanche problem, the weather, and where in the terrain these will be located. And it gives you a little bit more advice on how to avoid these dangers. And then down below, it goes into a 5-day trend. So we can try to get ahead of the forecast and track our danger ratings. And the observations and weather data Gives you some avalanche observations, field reports, weather observations, which can be handy. And then if we go on over to the observations tab in the menu bar, you'll notice this avalanche tab. Go ahead and click that. What this will do is it'll give you a list of all the observed and submitted avalanches around Colorado, and we can pick all regions, or we can specify what region we want the list in, such as the Sawatch here, and it gives us the dates on which they were observed and submitted into the website. It gives you what zone they were in, the location or path description, and then it goes down to tell you how many avalanches were reported, at which elevation band, on what aspect they were found. Then it tells us what type of avalanche occurred, how it was potentially triggered, and then the full size scale, being relative to the slide path and destructive potential of the slide. So these are really good to track activity in your region. So if you keep continuing on, we find accidents, and you can find a record of accidents for just Colorado, the US, and all statistics and reporting. So if we were to click on Colorado, it gives us data sheets on how many people were caught, buried, or killed in avalanches. So this gives us a relative scale of how dangerous these avalanches can be that have been happening. We go back to our forecast. So now you can see how these can be utilized. It helps us track the danger on what aspect and elevation band. This is a compass rose. It gives us north aspects, south, east, and west aspects. So these shaded regions are the avalanche problem and where they are in the terrain. So we can find persistent slab above tree line, near tree line, on north to east to southeast aspects. And the chances of triggering these avalanches will be likely, and the size will be small to large. So these are some basic ways to navigate this website and to start tracking the danger and avalanche activity, along with coming up with ways to mitigate your risk in the terrain by terrain selection. So I highly suggest you get on here, poke around, click on all these information links, and start to really explore what information this has to offer and how relative it is to our terrain selection and our daily objectives. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our little tour of the Colorado Avalanche Information Center CAIC website. Until next time, thank you and enjoy.